All right, Henry family, welcome back to yet another episode of Hunt with Henry. We are back in the kitchen. Got my wife back here. Little baby Reese is over there watching one of her shows. But today we're gonna make something for you that you might not know anything about unless you are a Nebraska native, and that is a Runza. We have some restaurants here that make these things called Runzas. They're native just to Nebraska. I do know that some people ship them around to different states for Nebraska football games and things like that. So you might have heard of them if you've been in Nebraska before, but they're one of my favorite things. My wife loves them, and I know they are my mom's favorite food. I think she could eat one every single day. Today we're gonna make some for you using venison burger. We're gonna do the cheese Runzas, I think, right? Yeah, the cheese Runzas, but you can really add anything you want to them. So they're gonna be really good, and let's get to cooking. Okay guys, welcome back here. Like I said, today we are making some Runzas. My job here is done because like I said in the last video, the kitchen is definitely not my strong suit, we will say. So I'm transfer it over to Whitney here. She's gonna run you through the ingredients and how to make these awesome Runzas.
Alright, so basically what a Runza is a dough with usually hamburger type of meat. You can put cheese in them. They even have a mushroom and Swiss Runza. There's all kinds of things you can put in there, but of course we've got a lot of venison on hand, and we are going to make the kind of the original but with venison. Okay, so we're going to start with the dough. You can actually buy frozen bread dough balls at the store if you would rather do that. I'm going to show you how to make homemade dough because any chance that I get to use my mixer, I'm going to take it. So we'll start with the flour. You need 4.5 cups of flour, just regular all-purpose white flour. You need 1/4 cup of sugar. You need 1/4 ounce of yeast. I think it's 2 little packages. You need a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of salt. And then you need 3/4 cup of milk and 1/2 cup of water, and I just mixed them together already. You also need 1/2 cup of butter. And the last thing you'll need is 2 eggs. So that's what you'll need for the bread dough. So for the filling, you want 2 pounds of venison burger. Got it cooked up here nice. We've got about 3 cups of shredded cabbage. That's key. I just used my little cheese grater. And then some cheese slices because we like to add cheese to ours. Right, so that's all the ingredients you'll need to get started for these Runzas. I'm going to show you how to start the homemade bread dough first. It will have to rise for about an hour, so you can actually get this bread dough started and then cook your hamburger. I kind of cooked it up first because I'm going to make a different side for our dinner tonight while the bread is rising. So you first want to bring the butter, 1/2 cup of butter, and your milk and water mixture to a temperature of about 120 to 130 degrees. I usually do it on my stovetop, but you can do it in your microwave as well. So I'll put it in my pan and stick that in there, and I just kind of keep it on, about medium. And I'll get my thermometer out to keep checking it. So while your butter, milk, and water is kind of warming up to that 120, 130 degrees, you're going to put 1.5 cups, give or take here, of flour into your mixing bowl. You'll put your sugar, your yeast, and your salt all in there as well. And you'll give it just a little mix before you put those wet ingredients in there. Just kind of mix it up a little bit. And then we'll check the temperature on that. All right, now that it's reached 120 degrees, I'm gonna go ahead and pour these wet ingredients in with what we've poured in for our dry ingredients so far. Pour that in there. And then we'll give it a little bit of a mix before we add our eggs. All right, so we'll add our 2 eggs in. Add our 2 eggs, and we'll start mixing, and we'll just add a cup of flour at a time until it's all mixed in. So I just kind of slowly add my flour in. I said cup at a time, but I just use a big spoon and kind of spoon it in. We'll let it keep on mixing. And once it's all in there and it's all kneaded together, it'll be kind of stretchy and elasticy. Nice and smooth dough. Alright, it's all nicely mixed together. Pretty elasticy. Kind of scrape it off my dough hook here. So we will put this dough into a greased bowl. And we'll cover it and let it sit in a warm place for about an hour. We want the dough to double in size. Really elasticy. Alright, so while that is rising, I'm going to add my cabbage to my hamburger. You can also add onions if you would like. Good and cabbagey.
And then while the dough's rising and that's doing its thing, you know, you go outside and shoot your Henry for a little while.
Multitask.
Exactly.
Alright, so the dough rose for an hour. Just kind of punch it down and we'll divide it into 12 equal sections. So I just kind of start about that big and then I can add to them. If I need to, I might set them over here on my little pan. Alright, so I transferred the 12 dough balls back into my bowl that I let them rise in. Because I'll work with one square at a time. I can actually keep these covered while I'm working with the one. You kind of just roll it out into about a 6 by 8 rectangle shape. Then I'll take some of my cheese, put it on there, and you do a half cup of the meat and cabbage mixture per Runza. Alright, now the art begins. You just start folding it over onto itself. I've seen a lot of people make them into like a circle. I like to try to make mine into a rectangle like the original Runzas are. Alright, kind of smoosh it up nice. Make sure all the seams are sealed nicely. And I'll carefully pick it up and put it seam side down on my greased pan. And I'll repeat that with the other 11 dough balls. Alright, adding the last Runza to my greased baking sheet here. Got them all on. I've got my oven preheated to 350 degrees. So we're just gonna pop them in for about 18 to 20 minutes. And we just want them to be nice and golden brown. So we'll check them at about 18.
Reese and I can't wait. Yummy, 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 right? They look delicious.
All right, everybody, it's been about 18 minutes. We're gonna get them out and check them. Oh, they look golden perfection. Ugh. Oh my goodness, they smell awesome.
Seriously, I wish you guys could smell these, because homemade bread and one of my faves. They smell great.
So we got 12 Runzas. Obviously, we're not going to eat all 12 tonight. It's just Cody and I, and Reese doesn't eat much. They freeze really well. Just let them cool completely. Put them in a Ziploc bag, and you can pop them in the microwave for like 2 minutes, and they are awesome even a few weeks later, too. Probably longer, but we don't let them last that long.
No, they don't last long in our house. Okay, Henry family, that is how you make a Runza. This is probably in the top 3 of my favorite foods. I just absolutely love these things. I love homemade bread and the venison burger and the cheese all together. Just they are good. But like Whitney said, you could put ketchup with it, mustard, ranch, whatever you want. You could put a side of fries with it, onion rings, maybe some steamed vegetables. Really, the sky's the limit, whatever you want to do. You can actually even add more things to the inside of them if you want to. We just kind of like them like this. It's simple. Like Whitney said, also you can freeze them. I absolutely love them for lunch. So we can put them in the freezer, take them out, pop them in the microwave for a couple minutes to heat them up, and they make a perfect quick lunch if you're on the go. They're just an awesome meal and really good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Hunt with Henry. If you try to make these, I hope you enjoy them as much as I do. Hope we kind of showed you guys something new here. I'm sure maybe there is other things like this or maybe called something different. But like I said, here in Nebraska, these are kind of a native thing to our Runza restaurants here. But we love them. Hope you guys enjoy them too. And God bless. We'll see you in the next one, guys. And remember, it's not made in America. It's not going to be made at all.